What's up, everybody? Welcome to Brick It Up. This is Jim with Wolf of Bricks. I am Mike with Dead Bricking. We got some new stuff for you today. First topic, Jim, is Harry Potter, one of everybody's favorite sets. They got some new stuff coming out. I think it may be March, but there's this Hogwarts magical trunk for $60 and a couple books. But let's talk about that trunk. What do you think?
That trunk looks amazing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm kind of glad it's not a gift with purchase, because that means that this should be a lot easier to, stack up and pile onto versus the Book of Monsters. I know some people that have hundreds of Book of Monsters, and I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
I could not get hundreds of them. I think I got maybe 20 or 30.
Yeah.
But this Hogwarts magical trunk, I definitely see myself going into.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's different. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was a book. I think I even might have mentioned on one of my videos that it was a book, and I was correcting myself. But it's cool. It looks like it. I don't assume it's got. I mean, you can open it up, and it's kind of got some playability like the books. But I feel like it goes along with it. But it's got what 603 pieces. So yeah, I don't see them doing obviously something like that for a giveaway gift with purchase, or you'd have to spend, I don't know, $200 or something. But
right,
so it does say March 1st. But yeah, I think it will be a winner, especially amongst, the obvious, the Harry Potter fans. But and then they're adding to the books. They got the other four, the Charms class, whichever. But they've got a defense class and a divination class for $30. What are your thoughts on those? Making it now 6 books.
So I've always liked the Harry Potter books
Mhm.
that Lego has put out. The thing about it, though, is I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's too many books that they're putting out. Like, I thought when they first came out, I thought, okay, I could see them putting out 6 or 8 books, and that pretty much be it. And then that could kind of be something that's sought after by collectors. And now they're cranking them out all the time now, which is fine. I mean, it's not the end of the world. But I know for myself, somebody that was wanting to get into the books, I see myself collecting maybe 6 or 8, and not, if they continue to do 12, 14, 16, that's not necessarily something I see that's too much of a commitment for me, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And so with the books, I mean, my thought was, and I want to buy more. And I know 2 of them were supposedly retiring at the end of last year. They're still out there, but I'm sure there's some truth to that, like every other rumor retirement list. But so my thought is that as an investor, I almost want to have an even amount of each book. So which at Charms class or whatever, have 10 of them or whatever. Obviously, you can't predict what people are going to buy, and they might buy all of them, and you're stuck with the rest, which is not a bad thing. But I haven't thought about that if they keep coming out with too many books, then it's hard to, we want to diversify some, but do you want to have that many books? I haven't thought about it like that. And I can't imagine that they would do a lot more, maybe 2 more, make 8. But I mean, now that 6 is probably good enough, but maybe not for Lego. I don't know.
We'll see. And here's the good news, because you always want to look at the positive. Sure. I mean, if you're a reseller, these things are easy to stack. Mm-hmm. They're easy to store. Yep. They don't take up a lot of space. I mean, they do if you have 100 of them. I don't. Mm-hmm. But they're almost the same size as the Burj Khalifa architecture box. I think they might be a little bit smaller. So that's a good size where you could just put a bunch of them in a corner and kind of forget about them, and then next thing you know, a Q4 or 2 has passed, and you're like, wow, check out this ROI. So
yeah. I mean, I personally like them. I got one back here that I've built, and the other ones I'll probably get around to it. But when you have them closed, they look pretty nice and clean, and I could see that being appealing to adults. Somebody that's a big Harry Potter fan, they might want to they may want to put it on their bookshelf. I don't know. So I don't normally do this. I've done this twice now and stood in line at Lego for something. I've never done that before. I started collecting again as an adult 7 years ago or something. I don't remember, but never done that. I've done the stayed up till midnight, and I did that with the '89 Batmobile a couple of years ago or whatever. But I was like, you know what? This year it was on January 1st. I actually did it for the Republic gunship, but I wasn't going for the gunship. I forgot what I even bought that day. But this year I was like, man, it's January 1st. It's a Saturday. I'm going to, assuming I get my butt out of bed, I'm going to go and stand in line, which I did. But there were some Star Wars sets. There were sets that were not available that bummed out a lot of people, like the Ahsoka brickhead. I know there was that French Bulldog brickhead. And then a couple of these like accessory pack or Star Wars battle packs for $15, whatever you want to call them. But there was quite a few things that did not come out. Now, I spoke to the manager that day, told us, hey, it's, shipping stuff, which we've heard about. But then I talked to another manager at a store the other day, and he said that a lot of those were made in a different factory around the world. And then that coupled with the shipping is why we haven't still got it in here in America. Because as far as I know, our friends on the other side of the world have been pretty fortunate to get some. I think it's already out of stock. What are your thoughts to that and just these supply issues and stuff that Lego continue to have?
So, I mean, it is an ongoing thing, right? And I understand that there is a facility in Mexico, and I get clapped back at sometimes on my YouTube channel in the comments whenever I say, the shortage can't affect us. And they're like, well, Jim, don't you know there's a facility in Mexico and they don't use ships, they use trucks? I'm like, yeah, I know that. Well, explain to me why this set and that set is not available right now, right? So, I mean, it's almost like, and I hate to say this because I just don't like buying stuff at a Lego shop at home. I like either going to the store and, even Amazon. I could get a Lego set at 20% off on Amazon. But, going to shop at home may be the way, because if they don't have it in the warehouse where it's at your Lego store, or where it's not at your Lego store or something like that, does that mean that you could secure your set on Lego Shop at home? Or I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty surprised and impressed that the Lego Sonic set is still available, right? That hasn't sold out, and I need to buy it. My kid is like chomping at the bit. His birthday's coming up, so I might just wait for that. But that set's still available. So it would be interesting to see what the method to their madness is over at Lego, to see, if there is even any method to what they're doing. But there's some sets that just are not available. There's sets that I was pretty certain would be available now that the Q4 is over, and they're just not. So
and when I woke up that day, I noticed those 3 sets just said coming soon, which it still says as of today, because I've been checking every few days to see if there's an update. And I figured that was probably a good indicator, but seeing that like the ATST and the Snowtrooper Battle Pack and the I got it right here, the what is it? The little Razor Crest,
right,
were available. I was like, well, I'm gonna go to the store. And the Sonic, I ended up picking that up. And the funny, you mentioned that she was like, we got tons of the Sonic that day, and a lot of people were going for that not botanical boutique hotel modular or whatever, which is probably gone. But when I went to the store Thursday, I made a joke to the assistant manager because they had just got stock back in that day, and they had tons of Sonic. I'm talking about they were filling holes with Sonic, and I was just like, y'all got enough Sonic in here? And he's like, kind of looked at me like, yeah, they gave us Sonic, but no, they had like 1 ATST and 1 Snowtrooper Battle Pack. But I mean, I was able to get them that day, but and then it was limit 1, so which was fine. That's all I wanted at that time. But
well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the spring, right? Because eventually you would think at some time we would get out of this rut, right? But we're at an all-time high right now when it comes to variants and other stuff. So who really knows?
Yeah. And speaking to all these supply issues, you know, if anybody knows how to find this information, the manager the other day said that he said something to the effect of I think they're making another factory somewhere around the world. I know there's the one in Mexico, supposedly. We were chatting. There's if you go on Brick Fanatics right now, there's an article. There's one in whatever city in China, and I think they're expanding that facility. I guess that means they're making it bigger to make more production, which is cool. It seems like they are not naive. They recognize that there's a problem and they need to up their operation. You know, I don't know if there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, the guy in the store, the manager said this, so I'm assuming that means they're going to build one somewhere. And I'm guessing there's one in Europe somewhere, maybe. And I guess the Mexico one. I mean, I think they all evenly supply the world. However that works out, I don't know. But yeah, whatever that means, it seems like they're trying to up their game to keep up with the supply of the world. Anyway,
I just say watch out for growing pains, because usually whenever Lego overextends themselves, it usually bites them. So I think, and you know, we joke on Lego all the time, but we want them to be successful because we want us to be successful, right? As resellers. But you know, historically, they will at times overextend themselves, and then they'll regret doing that. So you know, growing slow is I think the best recipe for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for them. Hopefully they get it together. But you know, I think this just being with COVID and people still working from home and whatever, like it's helped them, I guess. You know, they can't keep up, which I guess is a good thing in their eyes, but making people, upsetting people. There was one other thing I was going to bring up. I noticed this on Brick Fanatics. Actually, two things. Let me go hit on this one real quick and then I'll jump to that one. Rumored that there is I want to keep saying Harry Potter, but Indiana Jones. Go.
So here's the deal. I could be wrong, and I don't think I am. Okay. The last time they did this theme, it did not bode well for resellers. And I would like to keep an open mind.
Sure.
And I would think, you know, Harry Potter has these books out, right? Mm-hmm. I think I would like to think that Lego would want to do it right. And there's a new movie coming out. Is that right?
I believe so. I don't know the name, but I'm pretty sure there's a new Indiana Jones movie.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
Or what? Do what? Right.
I'm really not certain how they're going to do a new movie, but whatever. But you know, similar to the Harry Potter books, it would be cool to have like an Indiana Jones diary, right?
That's a good idea.
Where it's in book form, you have some minifigures, and it kind of folds open, and you might be able
chasing him.
Yeah,
that would be awesome, dude.
Right? But there would be some theme where there would be some, you know, hieroglyphics on a wall or something like that. I think that would be cool. Maybe an Ark of the Covenant, not a huge Ultimate Collector Series Ark of the Covenant, but you'd have an Ultimate.
Yeah, or whatever they are.
Yeah, with a guy's face melting off and stuff like that.
That would be a good looking Lego face. I don't think they would make that mold, but that'd be cool.
Right. But you can have, you know, maybe a $50 set similar to, you know, Darth Vader's chamber or whatever, where it could be a display piece, or you know, I forget the name of these planes, but something similar to a Red Baron plane, where, you know, Indiana Jones was with Sean Connery and I mean, I think that would be cool. I have no idea what they're going to do with this new theme. I'm sure they'll disappoint everybody, but but it would be nice.
Yeah, and you know what? You just gave me a good thought, because I'm sure they would still have a couple sets like for kids, for a younger generation to play with, but that is a theme in the genre that, man, they should definitely make an 18 plus. Like you and I, guys like us that grew up with that in the 80s, when we watched the originals, that's the game I think they should bring with something new, or at least maybe one set of like you said, the Darth Vader meditation chamber, some kind of adult display set. I didn't think about that. That would be perfect.
Right.
I think that would be helpful for us to buy it up or whatever, and that may be more appealing to adults and then the reselling, but I don't know.
Yeah, and if you're going to make it 18 plus, have something the same size as a Lego chess set, but instead of having the chessboard, you could have that thing where Indiana Jones had that stick, and there's like a laser that's shot down to show where the treasure is, or something like that. You know, I mean that might be a little too complicated for Lego, but I mean, if here's the deal, I mean, do 18. Yeah, if you're gonna do 18 plus, do 18 plus, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm curious. Now you got me a little more excited. I hope I don't want to get my hopes up that it would be something cool
Don't
for
get your
adults.
hopes up.
I'm definitely not going to do that, but that would be neat. Well, the one other random thing, you know, I like to look at Brick Fanatics. I like their website. They got good information, and they seem pretty accurate with stuff. They mentioned that they may be doing away with like the creator expert line, or maybe the name, and they're just going to run with the 18 plus. I don't know if they'll make another name or if that's just what it's going to be called. But do you have any thoughts to something like that? Like, is that a good move? Does it matter?
I mean, it's interesting that they've done that. I think it's a marketing technique, and I don't want to imply like it's a gimmick or anything like that. It may be a gimmick, but you know, I know whenever I was 7 or 8 years old, if I saw something that said creator expert, I would want to do it and just to prove to everybody that a 7 or 8 year old kid can do it. But whenever as an adult I see something that says 18 plus, I would be more drawn to something on a Lego set that says 18 plus than maybe creator expert. I'm like, creator expert, that's you know, that's whatever. I could read instructions, but 18 plus but I think 18 plus has a little bit more teeth to it. So I could see why Lego is doing that.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense. And there was something in the article, and I think it was the Brick Fanatics, you know, journalists thought that creator expert might turn off people that aren't as good at building or something. You know, and I was like, really? Whatever, I guess. But
listen, man, I have no shame. That first R2D2 Ultimate Collector Series set number 10225, I believe it was from 2011. Let me tell you, there were some pieces there, like some Technic pieces. I just got so frustrated, and I threw the instructions down, and I told my wife, I said, you take a tackle at this. So
yeah, no, I'm with you. I get ahead of myself sometimes. I know people have their methods when they build, and sometimes I'll just start. I don't even look at what pieces. I just look at the picture and try to figure it out, and then I'll realize I'll get a couple pages in, and I'm like, or the end of the bag, and I'm like, why do I have these pieces sitting here? And then I got to go back, and I'm like, damn gummit, this thing right here. It took me a couple of weeks, but man, I had things. I don't mind embarrassing myself. It took me a couple of times. Like I just jacked it up on a couple of parts. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, they're not. Some of them aren't easy. Now I've only built one Technic. I got the that orange Corvette. I've never built a Technic. That was interesting, and I realized when I got done, there was a rod that I missed that goes underneath that when the tires go, it spins or does. I forget exactly what function. Yeah, and there's no way. Like, it's too hard to get that rod back in. I would literally have to take it apart and do it. I was like, nah, dude, I'm not doing that again. I'm not building that thing over. So that one function of – because that rod that goes completely underneath it
right.
So, yeah, but it was a different building experience. Anyway, I was just curious if, you know, there's any thoughts to that, because I love this 18 plus stuff. It's cool to me because I just build it and sit it. Thank you so much again for watching Brick It Up. Got Jim with Wolf of Bricks. I'm Mike with Dead Bricking. As always, even episodes are on my channel, odd episodes are on his. We appreciate you. Take care.